Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Very unusual for me to stream on Tuesday nowadays, but I've got some time, so I figured why not. But hey, Reformulate, hey 3D Extended. Yesterday, I took a look at, well, I'll show this in the game, I guess. I started working on the revamped, they're skill tables. They're not really trees, because there aren't strict dependencies between these. But the way, hang on one sec. Excuse me. The way that most adventures are going to work is that they start with 3 skills, usually a passive and then 2 active ones. And then they'll have, I think, like 2, 3, and then 2. So that's what, 7 skills that they can put points into, and they'll be unlocked in these rows. So you'll need to put points in the previous rows. And then after the stream concluded, hey, Sinistello, ham too. After the stream concluded, I wrote down some ideas for, I think, 3 other classes. Let me see if I can find this. Should just be able to find the tables in here. There they are. Yeah. So I came up with some of these. Did I hear you yesterday talking about being overworked? Be careful. I think I've still been productive. What I was concerned more about is the work effective? I don't feel like I'm necessarily putting in too much time. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with my voice. I don't think I'm necessarily putting in too much time, although I do appreciate it. And I do recognize that it's something to be careful about. And so I try to look into this every week. The other thing that I don't know if you were here to hear, but my parents are going to be visiting pretty soon, and I'll be taking a couple days off next week that normally I wouldn't have, although probably not from streaming. So I think that'll help too. Yeah, so I designed some more skills. So the mage had 2 skills, and I want to up them to 4 active skills. And I think this is going to be nuts. I think it's going to be cool. The warrior, I redesigned a little bit. Yeah, redesigned the warrior a little bit. So now we got to talk about the cleric, the paladin, and the archer. Yeah, cleric, paladin, and archer. So let's do this cleric, paladin, and archer. And the reason I was hesitant to touch these 2 classes is these are the classes with healing. And they're kind of broken right now. So I thought about it, and I thought, what makes healing balanced in other games? And I think there are 2 ways that this is generally done. One, healers tend to not do a lot of damage. And 2 is healing throughput is balanced. And this isn't totally true. Healers can do damage, but then their healing throughput is balanced alongside their damage throughput. Hey, Chef Alton, and hey, Courageous Mayonnaise. I think I just saw you in Kit's stream today. Let me pull out the boga hay. I don't care about your floor. I think the idea of recording the best quotes from those AI calls and then using them for human calls is a good idea. So I think what we need to do is balance the throughput. And the problem with the cleric right now is that they have... I can't even show you the ability because I overwrote them all. Anyway, they have an ability called reactive healing, which is an X% chance on taking damage to cast heal. So the problem is when they're the only character, this chance on taking damage gets rolled a whole bunch of times because they're the only one taking damage. And then they can out heal the enemies. And I thought there's kind of an easy way to fix this, right? Just say something like heal can only be cast X times per second. And I don't even know what X has to be. Maybe 2 is fine and people feel okay with that. Maybe it needs to be 0.5 or something like that. I don't know. But this is one way that we can cap the throughput and not have a gigantic problem. So, yeah. I think the first spelling was just MAOO. By the way, for anyone who wasn't in the know about this, which is probably most people, it's some Kit Boga stuff that we're talking about. Yeah, so I want to cap the throughput, but I want to think about how these skills are going to work. So yeah, let's plan some. I guess let's just start with the cleric. So the cleric is pretty much just a healer. They have this, which causes overhealing to do damage. I like the idea of them shielding people so they don't take damage, but I don't know if that should be the cleric. Hey, Matt. Yeah, I was just talking about I need to reduce the cleric's efficacy overall, and I think it's just cap how many times heal can be cast. So generally, the way I've been designing the extra skills has been to have one skill that affects the class passive, and then two skills that affect the class overall, but not a specific skill. Yeah. Need to work on skills for my game. I've never been so afraid. I feel like there are so many systems out there that you almost need to come up with one that makes sense for your game specifically, and it won't be clear what that system is at first. So my advice to you is start small and get something workable and then iterate from there, as opposed to trying to design the absolute perfect thing from the beginning, because you're not going to know how it plays until it's actually in the game. And a lot of this stuff, you know, if you submit it to 4 or 5 people and they give you feedback like, oh yeah, the skills are kind of boring or they're slow or they're whatever, then you can change how things work based on that. They probably have to write a singleton. Well, that part you could always just refactor, I guess. Because you never have to write a singleton. Remember, anything that is a singleton could just be an instance passed around to everything. There. You just need a way of accessing things, or you could pass around like some sort of service registry and that can fetch whatever's needed. I think singletons are hard to unwind from your code once they're already all over the place. Anyway, one that affects the class passive. So the class passive here is healing a target causes damage to be dealt, or sorry, causes it to be dealt as damage to a random enemy. I like the idea. I don't know what we do to change this. We could just change, like, we could just improve the cleric's damage and buff this X% to like 2X%. So yeah, some general ideas. For resonant healing, could just be improve X. I don't generally like that. What did I do for some of the other classes? It was something that would interact with this. So for the warrior, it was the counterattacks lower the enemy's power. That could be interesting. Yeah, lower enemies' power when you deal damage with this. I don't want too many skills to do that. What else did we design? The rogue just increased X. Okay. This added a couple skills, which then increased the odds that this happens. The witch doctor. What did we put for this? There were actually a couple of these. When an enemy dies, summon a zombie. When a zombie dies, damage all enemies. When the witch doctor has no zombies, the next one to be summoned has 20% stats and a crown. The crown's important. So this is sort of boring. This has already been done. Is there some other thing that would kind of make this work well? Maybe it could be deal damage to all enemies. This could be too powerful though. We could say it's something like minus X% damage with resonant healing, but it damages everyone. I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, you know what would be kind of cool? Something like heal can no longer affect the cleric herself, but every time another party member is healed, the cleric is also healed for 2% or something like that. Hey, Kevin. Use this in spreadsheets. You can easily see debuff, single target, AoE, etc. in a matrix. I don't mind if there's some duplication though. And also with the battle system we have now, there's only so much we can do without adding new mechanics. So for example, the stats that we have are literally just life, power, and fortitude. And the abilities are just auto cast, no mana. Yeah. And so when you think of a buff, it's like, what could you even buff? Well, you could buff life, you could buff power, you could buff fortitude, you could buff the power of a specific skill. You could buff dodge, haste, maybe lower cooldown of a specific skill. It's like there's not too much on the list, I think, that as far as extending this outward. And I guess I'm not saying it's not a large list. It could be a large list. It's just, you know, with Pokemon, for example, you had types of moves. So now all of a sudden you could say like improves fire moves, or you do more damage when it's something is super effective. I don't want to add a system. So I think we are going to have duplicated stuff. Was I watching Gilly's talking to Crispy? Yeah. For whatever reason, I thought it would have been hilarious. And I mentioned this in chat, but I don't think he saw it. If he said, "Oh, you're living in America. Why is your name not Chip then?" That would have absolutely cracked me up. I just think it might help your design process to bird's eye, but no worries. Oh no, yeah, it could. It definitely could. I like kind of just thinking in a vacuum at first, and then if we are having problems, seeing what could be done. And I think the problem with the cleric overall is I'm not super happy with the cleric, and part of it is the overpowered healing. And yeah, maybe it's just that. Maybe it's the overpowered healing. I call myself already. It was quite funny. All right, I don't think I want this. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. What else could resonant healing do? Because like I said, I don't even have to have it so that there's an ability that affects the passive, but I think that's interesting. Maybe we could make it affect Blessing of Haste instead. Just grant even more haste. That's probably a dumb idea too. Generate X healing now. A second. Okay, heal. No, heal can't even do that. Man, there's cleric gets weaker the bigger the party is. Yeah, and the reason why is because they're just overpowered, I think, because of reactive healing. So I think we got to change a few different things. I think here's my general direction that I'm thinking of is buff healing overall, and then cap the number of times heal can be cast per second. I think if we do both these things, then the cleric will be in a good spot. But otherwise, I think we're going to have a bunch of problems. You want to have trade-off skills? I think only for the enchanter. Because if we only have 7 skills, then it's going to feel a little bit weird to have a trade-off here. And I thought about this yesterday. We talked about what if the witch doctor had an ability that was when the witch doctor is alone in an instance, they summon zombies twice as quickly. And then I realized I'm like, if you're never alone, then there's just a skill you never get. And if you are alone in an instance, then it's probably overpowered to be doing your class skill twice as often. I guess. Icons, yeah. Well, they're all the same icon right now, but they make sense for the rogue at least. The rogue has Execute, Quick Strike, and Cloak of Shadows. These are all probably correct. But then, yeah, we got to fix the other ones. And I just using them in here too. But yeah, looks a lot better. I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so Cleric is a challenge. Honestly, this is what we'll probably go with until I have a better idea, which is just deal more damage. And I don't even know if the Cleric is going to be desirable for that. If you have the Cleric in the party, it's because you want healing. So probably we should increase the healing somehow. I just still don't know what. Maybe like while Regenerate is active, damage is returned. While Regenerate is active, but then this depends on Regenerate. We really can't do that, I guess. Hey, Puka. Well, late stream and also just the existence of a stream. I don't normally stream on Tuesdays. So it's kind of like an early afternoon stream. Normally I would have started about an hour from now, I guess. And all I want to do is design the skills. If we get this done and I'm like, okay, that's that, then it's totally fine. If we get this done and I say, you know what, let's code a few of these. I'm very excited about this stuff, though. All right, so something to improve healing. Maybe what we need to do is just revamp the cleric skills overall. Something to improve healing, since that's probably why you want the cleric in the party. Or make someone take less damage. Maybe when heal is... The problem with anything that's based on casting heal is that it's cast a whole lot of times. Maybe it could be something like... Oh, here's not a bad idea. While the cleric has living allies, take X% less damage. I like this idea. Omnivamp? What is that? Is this... What is Omnivamp in League of Legends? Oh, there's a page for this. Okay, Omnivamp is a defensive stat that heals champions through damage. When a character with the stat is hit by any physical, magic, or true damage, a percentage of that health damage will instead be turned into healed health, which stacks. Interesting. Heal based on how much damage you deal, but the cleric could give that effect to their party members. Oh, give them lifesteal? Oh, that's very interesting. I like that idea. Blessing of Haste could grant lifesteal. Yeah, very, very interesting idea. Hey, APX. Oops, I almost... I'm saying hey, APX and trying to type out that name. Okay, I definitely like this. And I think I like this. And I guess we could start by doing this. So yeah, we could do that. Thanks, Hyper. Yeah, I think let's go with these three. So now the hard part is coming up with names. So while the cleric has living allies, take X% less damage. You know what I've been doing with this? I know this might sound stupid, but I've been using AI because I just don't think the names are super important. So I'm coming up with skill names for a fantasy RPG that I'm working on. Wow, I can't type a period. I have a cleric class that can heal, and I want to name a passive skill that raises their defense when they have living allies. Wait, give me 10 names at once. Hey, Dark. I like the word unity being in here. Can you give me more that use the word unity? Shield of Unity? That's pretty good. They want to have abilities that only trigger after a certain amount of stacks have been applied if you think they're too strong. Yeah, it's a good way to tone down an ability, and it's a good way to add some excitement while things are playing out. I think that's how... Oh, I guess you're saying that's how reactive healing could be changed. You know what? That's an interesting idea. Let's write this on the to-do list. I wrote PRs, but we're not doing that yet. Oh, wait, no. Let's write it in the... Are we nerfing Cleric? We're changing Cleric. I mean, I guess any change is going to be a nerf because there's... she's a little ridiculous right now. Excuse me. Is the ability charge for install? Only retroactively. All right, so I said I think reducing self-healing on the cleric is a way to go and make them prioritize someone else first. Why did I write this down? Oh, because I hadn't come up with the other idea until today. Wait, what? Did I not even save this? Maybe I just closed the tab before making changes. Okay, Giuseppe, thanks for resubbing. Welcome back for your 1/3 of a year. All right, so I think we just need to cap how often heal can be used. There are 2 ways to do this. Well, 2 easy ways to do this. Write in the skill that heal can only be cast once every, or X times per second. And the second is change reactive heal to build up charges. It would basically be like, what's the other skill called from the Paladin? I don't remember what it's called. Holy Light, is that it? Numb raise, yeah. It'd basically be like Holy Light on the Paladin. Yeah, but I guess the problem here is maybe the issue is with reactive healing itself. The idea that the cleric is even being hit is sort of counter to why you use the cleric in the first place. All right, we probably need to rethink that. Act like stacks, and once you hit a set number of stacks, then it heals. Yeah. So that's how the paladin works right now. If I, whoops, I didn't mean to click that. All right, well, whatever. Let's go into here, and I'll just show you this really quickly. So the paladin, every time they get hit, they generate rays of light, and you see them emanating outward. And then when they hit a maximum amount, then you'll see a little green heal number appear. Yeah, so there, they healed for 54, and now the rays of light are fainter, and now they're getting more and more powerful, and they're going to heal soon. So that general concept, I think, could be applied to the cleric. Do a damage build-up, like cast only after taking X damage, only cast once in case huge hits occur. Actually, you could cast it multiple times, right? Especially, I mean, that's another way to reframe this. Here are some ways to do this. Change reactive heal to only trigger after X damage has been dealt to the cleric. Very interesting. I think this is now what I'm leaning toward. I think reactive heal just doesn't make a lot of sense the way it's currently designed. It's like the cleric needs to take hits to heal themselves, but if they're taking hits, then your party is broken. So it doesn't really make sense. So what did we decide on for this? Where'd chat go? Here it is. Shield of Unity. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, so we're going to call this Shield of Unity. Then Blessing of Haste granting Lifesteal. What do we call this? Health transfer. This will still be bad with 9 enemy rooms. But the change to it? Because we could just change the ability completely. Just replace it with something else entirely. Just gut reactive heal completely and come up with something else. Yeah. The heal every X damage. It could be based on anyone in your party taking damage. Or maybe the entire party. Or maybe a chance when anyone gets hit. That'd be pretty crazy though. Yeah. All right, so what do we call this one? So great, now I need a name for a cleric ability that gives another... Now I need a name for another ability. The cleric has Blessing of Haste, which buffs the entire party with plus haste. I want to make a new ability that grants lifesteal when Blessing of Haste is active. Come up with 10 names for this new ability. Ooh, these are pretty bad. Divine Reclamation's pretty good. I kind of like it. I want to call it that for now. We can always change names. Grants lifesteal to those affected. Maybe it doesn't have to be for the same amount of time, though. Casting Blessing of Haste also grants lifesteal for X seconds. I guess I should say X% lifesteal for Y seconds. Yeah. Once per battle or party member, when their health goes below X%, they heal for Y%. Interesting. So basically there could be almost like a revive. Like you're at less than 10% life, set you back to 80% or something like that. Could be super powerful. I want to write that down. as an ability idea. I don't know for sure I want to use it for the cleric, but let's think about it. So healing stuff. When a character is at less than X% life, heal them for Y%. This could be once per battle or per party member. That is pretty interesting. Where'd my class design go? Okay, get rid of this. Get rid of this. So what do we end up adding? These two. And we need a third one, and there could be just make resonant healing better. Or we could make it the whole heal something when it's close to death. Oh, and by doing so, that kind of affects resonant healing. You do a ton of damage at the same time. Kind of cool. Maybe you go under 10%, go back to 25%. I think if you were to do that, you'd want it to be more than once per battle. Or maybe it's an ability with just a really long cooldown, so it could be multiple times per battle. But I guess effectively, what is that doing? It'd be, if it ever went off multiple times, it's probably going to go off lots and lots of times. Maybe that's what reactive healing is. When a party member... Yeah, actually, that could be really... That could be interesting. Maybe this is reframed to when a party member goes below X% life, heal them. This effect can only happen, or when a party member is below X% life, heal them. This effect can only happen once every Y seconds. Is it true that once per battle is equivalent to just giving temporary max health? Long cooldown may also be good. Oh, it is true that once per battle is equivalent to just giving temporary max health. Well, it's a little different in that it's whichever character gets lowest first. So it's giving them the temporary max health, kind of. But think if we ever had a Berserker class where they want to be at like 20% life and they have some way of doing this, and then they ever get too low, the cleric ends up healing them back to their like safety zone. So some of that stuff can be kind of interesting. I sort of like this though. I think we reframe this to, yeah, this. When a party member is below X% life, heal them. It's cast heal on them. Oops, I'm off by one row. Cast heal on them. This effect can only happen once every Y seconds. Yeah, I like this. Okay, so we just need the one last ability. This is the simplest one, so I'm going to put this here. I should think about this for a little bit longer. I mean, that's the whole point of the stream. Yeah, I appreciate the suggestion too, Kevin. I think it's good. I don't like this. I think this is dumb. Something to improve healings. That's probably what you want the cleric to do in the party. We added 2 of these, though. This makes them take less damage, which I think it's interesting. The cleric takes X% less damage. I could see players not using this. Maybe we end up adding one more for the cleric eventually, but it's not bad. Casting Blessing of Haste also grants X% lifesteal for Y seconds. Actually, you know what would be kind of interesting for this idea? While the cleric has living allies, she cannot be targeted. That's super cool. Oh man, that's much cooler. And I think I made a cannot be targeted thing. If I could type target. Untargetable by enemies component, yeah. Be very careful to add a death condition to entities with this component. Otherwise, they may not be able to die. Yeah. Is heal targeted? Yes, there is heal that's targeted. You can overheal, which converts into heal over time buff, triggered only after taking damage. Well, heal is targeted and overheal is already turning into extra damage because of resonant healing. Could always have enemy abilities that bypass it if needed. The only enemies that are going to have abilities are going to be bosses. Because I don't want the average fight to be confusing, where you're like, what is this enemy? And then you need to memorize what it does. And for bosses, they'll just have tooltips or something. I kind of like this, and I wonder how bad this would be. It's while they have living allies. So as soon as the last ally dies, the cleric can be targeted again. I guess with this, well, wait a second, cannot be targeted. Does this mean they still take damage from other things? I don't know. I'm probably going to code it this for right now, as this for right now. While the cleric has living allies, the cleric takes X% less damage. I kind of want to just try this, though. We'll see. We'll see. It's Adam on a Tuesday. Hey, Goose. Yeah. Designing some skills for now. We need one more for the cleric. And I am happy with how this is going so far. Anything else with resonant healing? Dealt to a random enemy. Could they take AoE damage since it can't be targeted directly? Maybe. Right now, there's no such thing in the game. Like, no enemies even have AoE damage. But there will be eventually, so... I say maybe because I don't I don't know what we're going to design yet. Oh man, I like these. I'm not sure about the last one. And nothing directly affects this. Would it make sense to directly affect something else then? Maybe heal affects 2 targets at once? It's interesting. Heal affects 2 targets at once. The second one only gets 50% of the healing. That's kind of cool. And heal can be cast by reactive healing, and heal can also add regenerate on top of it. I feel like this makes Blessing of Haste way less interesting. It does improve the healing that they receive, but even that's kind of boring. I think we're just gonna go the boring route for right now. And just put improved resonant healing. Do you have enough healing for this to matter? 6% haste. Casting that. Grants for lifesteal. The lifesteal wouldn't play into resonant healing. Although I guess it's essentially the same idea. Yeah, I'm going to just put this here. Increase damage dealt by resonant healing by X%. Yeah, there. Okay, so we got the names, we got the skills, now we need the table. Copy this over here. Yeah. All right, so how are we going to fill this out? I think we've usually been putting this one in the end, so we'll put improved resonant healing there. I'm not setting this in stone. I just want to see what it's going to look like. What's the most interesting thing here? Probably reactive healing would be a fun thing to get first. These are kind of boring, so I'm going to put open mind there. Shield of Unity. Divine Reclamation. Yeah, this should go here, I think. Shield of Unity. I guess we put Regenerate here. And then Words of Wisdom here. Yeah. Summon Healing Spirits. I want there to be a different character that does that. I've got ideas for another healer. And the other one could be a healer that is like something that shields and something that heals through maybe a summon, let's say. No rage for the cleric. Nope. Just gotta delete that cell from the table. All right, I'm pretty happy with the cleric. Let's move on to the paladin. Well, actually, I'm not super happy with these. Something open mind is not that interesting. It could be improve their power or something eventually. Okay, so the paladin has 2 passive abilities. They have Holy Link, which makes it so that other characters share their damage with the paladin. They have Shield Bash, which makes them take less damage. I think we just delete that. Use maximum reduction. Holy light. Every time you take damage, generate a ray of holy light. When at 10 rays, it heals you and your allies for X life. Oh, this could be kind of cool. All right, let's write some ideas here. You gain rays of holy light. You gain X rays of holy light every second. Hey, Amy. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. I like this. I think this is pretty cool. This is like you don't even need to take damage and you will still generate more rays. However, I guess this isn't really doing a whole lot. I guess in one-on-one fights, you'd still be generating rays, but otherwise it might not be that effective. The nice thing about skills, by the way, I never really mentioned this, but if we're not happy with a skill, we don't need to even redesign it necessarily. We could just add another skill to the side of it. And people just don't have to use that one. It's code we would have written, and it doesn't really affect balance too much because it's not like it's going to increase the number of skills you can have at once. You just have to put a point into that instead of into the other one. Great. All right, what else? I kind of like the idea of this just turning into triple strike. There's a chance to attack the same target twice. Triple strike. Double strike attacks twice when it procs, not once. What else? Damage taken by an ally is transferred to the paladin. First of all, how much is that? Holy link. 15%. What if it was like Holy Link takes another 5% from every party member and just causes it to vanish? It's not quite that, but something like this where we say like improved Holy Link. Take an extra X% damage from allies. Raise fortitude by Y. So the paladin just by default takes less damage. And allies are also going to take less damage. Okay, not bad. Any other ideas? No, I think this is pretty good. Maybe call this prayer. I don't know. Or maybe like luminescence. Is that a word? Yeah. It is. All right. Yeah, we're calling it that. I think this just designed itself. Cool. Yeah, great. By it designed itself, I mean I designed it. Very important that we keep that clear. All right, triple strike. Oh, this is based on having double strike, though. Oh, we can't do that. All right, need to redesign this. We could make two skills called double strike. And they have separate chances to proc, but I don't think it's a good idea. Let me think about this some more. Yeah, we could do it that way. Just call it quadruple strike. Well, just to be clear here, the problem is that the way skills are going to be laid out is just in this table. So imagine this. You've got no points in anything. Now, the only thing you can put a point into is one of these two at the top. When you do that, it'll unlock the next row, and I can put a point into any of these four. And when you put in two more points, you unlock the bottom row, and now you can put a point into any skill you want. So in order for us to have a quadruple strike, it would mean that you got double strike, and then there's explicitly a connection from that to quadruple strike. We could just make double strike have a couple points you could put into it. That's probably better. But yeah, I don't want there to be explicit dependencies in the tree. I want them to all be additive and not transformative, I guess. With that said, this could certainly be that idea when you put 2 points in, the chance could be to triple strike. I like that idea. I think we can still have that. But yeah, I think we need now a new 3rd skill, or a new 7th skill, I guess you could put it that way. So what should it even modify? We have something for Holy Link already. I like that. We have something for Holy Light already. We could put something for Shield Bash, and we could just put a general thing in here. The Paladin is a healing tank. I don't think I have that written down. Yeah, healing tank. We have a retaliatory tank, and we have a mitigation tank, but not yet in the game. Twike. Sounds like a toddler saying trike. What else? Well, what have we done for the warrior? Let's take a look at that. We added an upgrade to their counterattack. Take X% less damage when less than Y% health. And then a modification that just decreases the cooldown of crush. I mean, decreasing the cooldown of this would be pretty interesting. But I guess that would make most of the tanks kind of similar. But yeah, decrease cooldown of shield bash. Maybe something like when Holy Light is cast, refresh the cooldown of shield bash. That could be stupidly powerful. It's also kind of fun. When Holy Light is cast, refresh the cooldown of shield bash. Actually, it can't be that powerful because it's mentioned refresh. So of the 3 seconds remaining, you can save up to 3 seconds. But depending on how long is remaining, you might save no time whatsoever, in which case this ability would be kind of stupid. Maybe it's just use shield bash again on a random target. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Okay. Maybe like taking X% of health in a single hit causes next Holy Light to heal for Y% more. I think we have enough things based on Holy Light right now, because unfortunately it's like, okay, the Paladin has Holy Link. They're taking damage whenever anyone takes damage, and they're generating rays of light from that. But then also, when they hit directly, they generate more rays, and they have a buff already that makes them generate even more rays from any hit. So I think if we added another thing that makes them generate it faster, it'd be too much affecting it. Okay, so I like this idea. All right, so next I have a Paladin class. They have a Shield Bash ability and a Holy Light ability. Holy Light makes them generate rays of light anytime they're hit, and when they get to 10 rays, they heal the party. I want the name of a new ability that will cause Holy Light, I guess new passive ability, that will cause Holy Light to trigger Shield Bash. Could have skills that depend on other adventurers' ones when the Paladin gets heal cast on them. No, I don't want to do that. Because the odds of you wanting both, Adventurer A and Adventurer B in the party are probably sort of slim to begin with as a general player base. And that would sort of just take some cognitive load for a very niche thing. Radiant Retaliation is pretty cool. Holy Counter-Strike is what someone says when they're excited to play an FPS. Lightforged Smite. Divine Rebuke. That's also pretty good. I like 1 in 5 so far. Ooh, 1, 5, and 10. Okay, well, let's have chat vote, I guess. 1, 5, and 10. Whoops. Stupid Apple Music. Okay, so now let's go make a poll. How do I... Oh, weird. Okay, yeah. So what should we call the ability? And to be clear, let me just share the same prompt. So for anyone who was confused about what we're naming here, it's this. So you feel free to read that. And then I'm going to find chat. And we're going to paste these in. Okay, start poll. Go chat, go. There should be like a 30-second poll option. Yeah, so again, just to read this out loud, Paladin already has Shield Bash, and then they have another ability, Holy Light, which generate rays of light. When you get enough rays of light, I want it to use Shield Bash, which we call that ability. So Radiant Retaliation, Divine Rebuke, and Holy Vengeance. And it looks like Radiant Retaliation is going to win, so I'll just fill that in for now. But if Holy Vengeance picks up another 6 votes, then we can just swap it. One person chose Divine Rebuke. Where did the Paladin go? Yeah. Thank you for voting, by the way. Where is the Paladin? Here it is. Okay, so Radiant Retaliation. Actually, yeah, I wonder what it would say. Which do you prefer of options 1, 5, and 10? I mean, it's an AI. It doesn't really matter, right? I'd go with Radiant Retaliation. Oh. Yes, I do, Mr. AI. Whoa, what? Did I ever tell it the name of the game is Skeleseller? What in the world? What is this thing doing? I think it might remember from other conversations that we've had. Yeah, it says memory updated. Oh man, that was spooky. Whoa. Chilling. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it has to, right? There's no other way that it could have known this. So yeah, it has to. The man, that's crazy. That's really crazy. Yeah. Holy Counter-Strike. Okay, so now let's file these into a table. I love how it moves where I'm looking when I resize this. Yeah, let's just delete this from ideas, I guess. It's become sentient. It can see that I'm streaming. I see what you're doing, Adam. Okay, so what makes sense in terms of unlock order? What should your first choice be? Improved Holy Link. We've been putting all these at the bottom, so let's just put this at the bottom too. I don't know what just happened. Improved Holy Link. Okay, so that one's easy. So we're done with that. Now we have Double Strike and Shield Hardening. I don't think these are super interesting, but I think Double Strike is the more interesting of the two. Double Strike. Then probably one of these. Yeah, maybe Holy Charge. Then this is pretty powerful, I think. So then Holy Blessing we put here. And what it remains? Shield Hardening. Wait, did I already have that there? And Luminescence. Did I get all of these? Improved Holy Link is there. Double Strike is there. Shield Hardening is there. Holy Charge, Holy Blessing, Luminance, and Radiant Retaliation. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we have one more character, and it's the Archer, and I'm not actually super happy with one of the Archer's abilities right now. What was it? This Sharpshooter. I think this is dumb. Yeah, I don't like the Archer right now. I think one of the things we need to do is instead of resetting the haste bonus to 0, we need to just lower it. So what are these numbers right now? What is this thing even called? Steady shooting. I tried it, but the crit was too low value. Oh, yeah. This is just a bad ability. I just didn't change it because we were in a rush for checkpoint 3. All right, so what are we getting here? What is percent life? This isn't even used. That was just... Makes me wonder, where else is percent life and we just don't use it at all? Execute. Nope, that's it. And we use it there. Okay, so haste bonus per hit is 2.5% up to 25%. So it takes 10 hits. I mean, I think that's reasonable. But I think dropping it down to 0 is probably not reasonable. We should act like you drop it down maybe 7.5% every time. But I feel like we should just change the class and not have it be a new ability. Although it would be kind of cool. What if we did have that? No, but then steady shooting just kind of sucks on its own, right? Yeah. Change this so that instead of resetting the bonus to 0%, it decreases by 3x %. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. But that doesn't help us, and this also doesn't help us. This one's terrible. This could be reframed to every Y hits gain a small power buff, because that small power buff would affect all of your shots. Kind of like that. Change this so that it grants a 1 second power buff. That way it affects all shots in that 1 second. Okay, so now we need 3 new abilities. The archer is all about shooting stuff fast. Increase enemy damage taken. Single target attack, split the arrow. We can make it so split shot could split into more shots, but that would make sharpshooter even harder to balance. Increase chance to split. I do like the idea though. So ideas make split shot split into 1 more arrow. It's pretty good. Oh, by the way, one of the other things we're going to change. Oh, darn it. Probably need to give some skills a baseline percentage. For example, Crush does nothing nothing special without getting skill points. Maybe we make Rage and Disorient have a small chance even with no skill points. Something like that. By the way, that's just one example. There are probably lots of those skills that would be boring or lame without skill points. And for some of them, it doesn't really matter. Like, when you are playing the game and you've got 7 classes unlocked, you must have enough money at that point that when you get your next character, you can just train them like 5 times in a row and then unlock a couple skill points. So it doesn't really matter if, let's say, you know, the final adventure you get in the game has lame 0 skill point loadouts. It doesn't really make a difference because you're never gonna have 0 skill points. But yeah, for something like the warrior, it matters because that's an early game class. Well, I should phrase it this way. All the classes can be used at every stage in the game, except for the ones that we gate unlocks on until later in the game. There are a couple more skills, yeah. We considered split shot doing reduced damage, so it may not be as overpowered. I'm not worried about balance just yet. So the nice thing about lots of these skills is that they already have some knobs we can tweak. So for example, this one, X% chance on hit. If we were like, you know what, this is too powerful, we could just lower X and there would be no redesign of the ability. And like you just said, we could lower the damage of the arrows that come out of the split. So all of those sorts of things I think should be done later when we have a better idea of what skills we have in the game. Hey, Grace, it's going well. Streaming on a Tuesday. Also, It's not even just skills that do nothing without having points. It's skills that are lame when they don't have extra points. So like Crush is lame. Heal is probably not lame. Heal, for example, probably isn't lame without having points. Yeah. Yeah, too early. Also, this is another reason why we didn't balance a game yet, because I'm revamping all of the skills right now. So if I had put a bunch of time into balancing, it would have been a nightmare. Because now I'd have to think of, okay, how do these new skills change the power level? Now we can just design fun stuff and see what happens. But yeah, I need some more ideas for this. So this is when it misses, increases haste. When it hits, decrease the enemy defense. What if we were to improve steady shooting? How would we improve it? Maybe you also get a power bonus. Maybe when you get hit, something else happens. How often are you getting hit? Ideas, something with steady shooting. Something when you get hit, or something when you have a lot of stacks of it. Thanks, Exaya. I'd increase natural dodge chance based on level. It's interesting. Increase dodge chance by X%. I probably wouldn't make it be based on level. I'd probably have it be static. And I do that for a couple reasons. One is that your other stats increase based on level. And two, that way any person who uses an archer will always have some balance feedback for like, was the dodge level too much? Haste on miss rewards the player for missing shots. Oh, these are automated battles. So to give you an example of how the archer plays in a battle right now, if I put the archer into a battle. All right, now we're waiting for them to get to the portal. So I'm not controlling it. So there is no concept of, yeah. I sorry, I didn't keep explaining, but yeah. So you can see this miss happening, and it actually is increasing the haste. Yeah, I agree. If this were a manually controlled game, this is the kind of thing you'd be very, very nervous about. All right. I like this. But I also want to keep in mind, I want there to... Oh, did I ever ask for the ninja class? I don't think we got a ninja class, did we? No, I want to ask for that. Artwork to ask for ninja class. They'd be a dodge tank. And that would round us out to 4 tanks. So that would be the final tank. Retaliatory, dodge, mitigation, and healing. Yeah. No problem, Watcher. Yeah. And welcome in. These could be interesting as a concept for abilities. Have them be 1 point, scale based on the adventure level. We could do it. I think it'd be hard to balance because the higher level you get to, the stronger it would be. And what level of dodge percent is too strong? Like, what's the range? At level 1, it's got to be Y, and at level 50, it's got to be Z. So is Y to Z like 5% to 10%? Is it like a larger range? Is it 5% to 20% or something like that? And Diablo 2 did something like this. Like if you look at I think Arcane's Valor had this. Whether or not you play Diablo 2, all I'm showing is this. They told you what the range would be basically, because they told you how much you get per level. And yeah, so your gear would essentially get stronger as you level up. I like the idea there. I like it better for gear, to be honest, than I do for skills. You already do a class that debuffs opponents, reduces their power, etc. There are skills that can debuff. So for example, Pierce Armor here, that makes the enemies take more damage. The Warrior has something that makes them have a chance to miss. The Witch Doctor can poison enemies. I don't think there are many other debuffs. Oh, this one also increases the damage they take. And I think the Warrior has another one. Yeah, lower enemies' power. Yeah. Just as a thought for abilities. Also an incentive for spending money in levels, even if you won't get the skill points. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't... Wait, what? Human Puppet? I wouldn't most specifically targeting enemies class. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Wouldn't mind specifically targeting enemies. Oh, a class that is meant to be like a debuffing class. Yeah, that. I think, you know what? I think the Potion Master could kind of be that. Maybe we do have a Potion Master. Oh, why am I writing it here? Do I have it written over here? Potion Master. I don't know if I would have written it as Potion Master. Why do we have the word potion written 20 times? Oh, there it is. Class based around randomness. They throw a random potion to random targets. Maybe this class is more focused on debuffs with its... My phone just rang? What was that? Hang on 1 second. Oh, it's just a notification. I didn't miss a call. Maybe this class is more focused on debuffs with its mods than other effects slash powers slash... I'll just say than other classes. I should curse enemies as a passive. Witch Doctor just stands there as a passive. They should not be tasked with doing anything other than summoning zombies. I'll show you the new design. Where is it? Witch Doctor. All right, so the new design is we added these 3. So 1, Zombie Legion. Whenever an enemy dies, summon a zombie. So this is a way of growing your number of summons as you're destroying the enemies. This one, Bursting Horde. When a zombie dies, damage all enemies, which I think a lot of people wanted. And then Zombie Leader. When the Witch Doctor has no zombies, the next zombie to be summoned has 20% more stats and a crown. So I like this. I think this is cool. I know it doesn't have any debuffing on it, but I think that's fine. They also have poisonous skin for all the zombies, so the enemies are pretty much going to constantly be poisoned. I think it would be kind of neat if they gained a skill that did something based on the amount of poison in the enemies. Idea, another skill that does something based on how many enemies are poisoned, or maybe with how many stacks of poison exist. But I don't think we're going to add another skill here for a while. Anyway, the reason I mentioned the ninja tank is because I really like this idea from Final Fantasy XI. You could get 2 different job classes. So I think what people did is they made a warrior main with a ninja sub job. And the ninja got a skill that would say like the next 2 attacks are negated. So it was essentially like a dodge tank. It wouldn't even take the damage. They just would get negated completely. And I like that idea. So I think it'd be cool if there was a ninja that somehow taunted enemies, got them to attack the ninja, but then just never took the damage. And as a result, I don't know if I want the archer to focus too much on dodging. I get that it helps their steady shooting, and it would make them take less damage. Maybe we give the archer even less life. Redirected to another adventure. You move out of the way and the fireball hits the person behind you. Hey, Peckman. Yeah, welcome in. Yeah, I usually code on stream. Every once in a while, we have to stop and do some game design. And I don't normally stream on Tuesdays. So I thought, you know what? Today's a good day for just game design stuff. Plus, I've been on a roll with coming up with skills, I think. They're not all perfect the first time around, but I think they generally get us to a better state. So we might code some of these today. But if we don't code them today, we're going to be coding definitely some of the skill stuff tomorrow. Yeah. Peckman99 learns live. Okay, so this is a decent idea. Steady shooting. What should we do? It could be that as you gain hits, or as you gain stacks of steady shooting, you also gain power. I think the archer would just be like a brutally powerful class, though. I know we can always balance it down and just lower their power. I kind of want to do that because I think it's a fun class fantasy to be like, I'm just blasting arrows out there. Super fast, super powerful. If we did that, though, I think we would need to change this growth curve, because right now it's 2.5% per hit up to 25% increase. So maybe we'd have to make it like 2% per hit up to a 25% increase. So it takes 12.5 hits, which is 13 hits. It's only 3 more hits, but it might make a difference. I don't know. Maybe we just don't worry about that. They're just dodge-based glass cannons. All right, let's do this. So steady shooting. So we'll say improved steady shooting. Grant X% power per hit up to a maximum of Y%. Okay, so happy with that one. This is kind of boring. The extra split shot makes it. Wait, does it affect steady shooting? I don't even remember. Split shot. How does this work? I don't even think that's where I would look for it. I think I'd look for it over here. On damage dealt, set num consecutive hits +1. Oh god, that's every time they deal damage. Why would I ever design a class like this? They shoot how many arrows per second? Where's their skill tree? I don't even have their skill tree because I overrode everything. All right, what do they have? Split shot. That is 1.6 seconds. Oh yeah, this is just messed up. Split shot is 1 arrow per 1.6 seconds, but then chance to hit 2 more times. And if it hit every single time, it's actually 3 arrows per 1.6 seconds. And then what's the other one called? Wild shot. Wild shot is 1.7 seconds. 1 arrow per 1.7 seconds, but a 35% chance to miss. But every single time you hit with any of these things, you are getting a tiny haste buff, such that these numbers are not really 1.6 anymore. And if we just made it so that the archer didn't take any damage whatsoever, which we don't have a super easy way to do, but I guess we could sort of fake it by doing this. Set the dodge duration to 9999, set the percent dodge to a ton, restart this thing, and just see how fast they fire. Something that happens is increase while at max. Actually, that's a pretty interesting way of doing it. Yeah, because toward the end of the game, maybe you got a party composition that lets you stay at max for longer. I like that a lot better, Stockton. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that. I need to unlock all the adventurers. Okay, so we're gonna get the archer to the max level. This won't work because these are not the archer skills. All right, well, I don't know. Yeah, we can't do that. But let's put them into a battle anyway. They should take no damage other than the first hit. Yeah. And this will just let us see how fast they can fire without any extra buffs from Wild Shot. They're probably at their maximum increase now, which should be 25%. So they'd be firing arrows once every like 1.2 seconds. And it looks roughly like that's what's happening. But that's not their actual maximum speed because they need Wild Shot. So the only way to change that is to go into all adventurer data and actually give the archer their skills back. These are all just hard coded to something else. All right, what are they called? Wild Shot Haste. Actually, it's only the haste that I care about, right? Yeah, it's only the haste that I care about. Let's try that. Oh no, it's not even haste buff. What am I doing? Wild Shot. Wait, is it? What? Something's wrong here. It's called Rapid Shot. Oh, the autocomplete is broken. Hey, Caleb, I'm doing well. What is just 1 arrow with a 50% chance to split? The next arrow is -5%. I don't want to have it result in tons of chains going on. The archer wasn't intended to be an AoE class, really. Well, I guess kind of everyone works out to be an AoE class if they attack fast enough. All right, so now the archer should have, yeah, rapid shot. So we're going to put 5 points in this. So when it misses, you attack 75% faster. So this should just go crazy, right? I don't think it's missed yet. Yeah, there it goes. It missed. So now we're attacking faster. And this stacks up to the point where it's giving you, I don't remember, like 2x the haste bonus. Well, yeah, I think this is fine. So then, yeah, I think you will end up at the maximum number of stacks, and I definitely think we should give you that buff only then. Is the new skill UI working? Sort of. So I have a lot of things hard coded. So like every character has rage right here, which is not a skill they should have. But the icons are there. You can click them. It should stop you from putting points into later rows if you haven't put them in the beginning rows yet, but it doesn't do that yet. So we only just started this yesterday. And I like already what it kind of does for the game. So I'm happy with that. We're almost done designing all the skills too. So this is going to be grant X% power when at maximum steady shooting, which I'll clarify in the game, but not here. So make split shot split into one more arrow. This makes it so that you'd get up to maximum steady shooting even faster, which I like that idea. Yeah, you know what? If we're going to change this, then we also should change it so that you get to the maximum in more hits than it currently takes. Now that the what's the reduction isn't as penalizing. Yeah. Thank you very much, Caleb. Yeah, so I really like this. I want to give a point to Sockton. There we go. So I like that. I think this can now work. And then we need one more. And it could be increased dodge chance. So we've done this. And if it is increased the dodge chance, then I think we should also probably tone down the archer's life. All adventurer data. Oh, we're already in that file. The archer's life is 150 going up to 305. And the other characters... Huh, I already... Oh, no, they just have the rogues thing copied. Yeah, they should have even less life. And maybe we should give a baseline amount of fortitude so we can take away that fortitude from some characters. Like the archer would have 0. So maybe a lot of the other characters should start with, well, the paladin. I guess the tanks have it. But yeah, maybe even some other characters, like the cleric could have 5 for every level. And the archer could just have 0. The witch doctor could have 10 or something. Eating too much pizza and not paying the price. Man, you know what that is for me? It's eggnog. I love eggnog, but my body cannot handle it. Oh, apparently it's just one word. Yeah. But it's just so tasty. So every once in a while I'm also willing to pay the price. Well, you might just be talking about being too full. Maybe you don't have like lactose intolerance or anything. Is this a good idea? The increased dodge chance? Yeah, I think so. I think we'll do it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now we need to come up with names for these things. Improved steady shooting. The last thing I want to do before I code any of these, which I'm not necessarily coding today, but take one more pass over skill names for the new ones that I add. Yeah. They're just very full. Okay. Well, that discomfort will end pretty soon then. All right, so what are we going to call this? I want to call this something like fancy footing. How about... All right, can you... So there's an archer class in the game. It's fast and shoots lots of arrows. Can you come up with a name for a passive skill that increases the chance to dodge attacks? Evasion mastery. Wind step. That's super cool. Fleetfoot. That's better than what I was thinking. Wind step. So neat. But I think I want to make it be Fleetfoot. My Yuletide secret. I caught somebody kissing Santa Claus. Hang on, I'm just looking at stuff. Fleetfoot. Now, Windstep. I search for Windstep. What is that? It's a brand. Windstep Masters train in mountaintop monasteries and other holy houses dedicated to wind. Blur of motion. Reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog. You've never had it? Oh man, it's so good. You can buy it in these like giant containers. Uh, can you come up with 10 more? Let's just see. I kind of like Windstep, but I think yeah, something like lightning reflexes. I think I'm gonna go with that for right now. Yeah. Okay, so increase dodge chance by X%. Split shot. We have forked arrows. Increased chance to split. I had a hard time coming up with this originally. Okay, so how about this? Next up, there's an archer skill called Split Shot, which has a chance on hit to split the arrows in two. I want to come up with the name for a passive skill, which will split the arrows in three. Hey, Gaunt's Ghost. 20 years ago, and ingredients were natural. Now it's just chemical soup, but the chemical soup is so good. Also, you could always make your own, right? Then you can have natural ingredients still. I don't even think it's that hard to make. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the ingredients are like 4 ingredients. Let me see. Traditional eggnog recipe. Ingredients. Okay, there's more than 4. Eggs, sugar, milk, cloves, cinnamon, heavy cream, nutmeg, vanilla, some alcohol, and no, that's it. So I guess if you omit the alcohol, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. All right. Only double what I thought. 2 pounds of eggnog. Don't you mean chemical soup? You've hit the free plan limit. Oh, wow. I didn't even know I was using the new model. Okay, well, what are we calling this? Triple volley? I think triple volley is pretty cool. Only it's not shooting a volley. It's the arrow splitting. Triple split. I like that. Triple split. It's splitting in 3. Did you get it? It's very literal. 4 or 5 are spices. Yeah, that's true. I guess you shouldn't really list those as separate ones unless it's a very rare spice. Okay, so we've got everything except for maybe the name of improved steady shooting, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. So here are the new ideas. So let's put these in the right spots. This goes here. And these, I guess I'm just putting here. What did I do for the last classes? Yeah, whatever, it's fine. All right, let's get the table now. Put this here. And come up with the order. So what do we want? Well, improved steady shooting is going at the bottom. Improved steady shooting. Ooh, these are now very interesting. Okay, I like rapid shot being here for sure. So we want one of these in here. Forked arrows. Okay, cool. Now we put 3 on the next one. So I guess it's easiest to just say what's the one that should be in the final row. Split in one more arrow. Probably lightning reflexes. No. This should go here. Triple split. What's the most interesting one to go in the bottom row? Yeah, maybe triple split. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. All right, that makes sense. Okay, so now we'll put the other ones over here. Sharpshooter and pierce armor. All right, and that's our 7 skill trees. Wow. That actually was a decent amount of work. And now every new adventurer has skills. We have 3 skills, 7 mods for the class that we need to design. Then the art requirements, which is walking sprites, idle, ability sprites. Then we're going to have sound effects at some point, which is any ability sounds, I guess. Yeah, so the cost grows. I was just reading an article yesterday about Tekken, whatever the new one is, 8. Cost to make a stage or something like that. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah. Yeah. There was some article about this and how I guess Tekken is charging for every little thing, and a new stage costs whatever, I don't know, $5 or something. And the reason Dev said is that it costs $350,000 to make a new stage. They said it takes 6 people. There's, people rigging, people animating, people making the sounds for the stage, et cetera, et cetera. So they need to recoup that cost somehow. And it just made me think, I never want to make a game that has like that level of fidelity for anything. Because I think, yeah, the cost to make any new feature just goes up so much. And I think it's good that games like that exist, but they really are kind of like Hollywood movies in that your budget needs to be gigantic, and then you got to expect a gigantic payout. So with games, that means you got to charge multiple times for things. Yeah, I can do all this for me. Actually, I discovered, thanks to Hacker Ham's post in Discord yesterday, there's something called Blockbench. This is a program meant for making like the Minecraft style art. And I loaded it up because it's a web app, and I got very confused and I closed it down because I couldn't figure out how to make anything. I looked at a YouTube video really quickly, and then I realized, like, even if I were to put some blocks down or something like that, you can't just make something that looks like this without some artistic ability. And I don't have that, so I thought, maybe some other day I'll explore with it. Do we really want an 8th Tekken? Well, the fighting genre is somewhat niche, which I never would have thought would be the case, but I guess it is. And I think the people who like fighting games do want new, polished fighting games. Still takes work to implement stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And even if the tooling is amazing, and even if AI is lifting some of the weight, it's like, okay, you want a new enemy. What do you have to do in your game for that? Well, model it, come up with the behaviors for it, figure out where it's going to go, add whatever code you need to add for it. It's like there's a cost for all this stuff. And yeah, making even kind of simple looking games is just not easy. If only I could download skill. Okay, well, I did the thing I wanted to do. So should we code anything? How long have I been streaming for? It's been an hour and 23 minutes. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel. Let's just sit around and chat for a bit. How about that? How about that, chat? The future, if only. The new skill trees reminded me of this kind of layout. How do I just get this on the page? Yeah. I think if you were to add in prerequisites for the skills that we have, you would expect them to be actual prerequisites, given how few skills there are in the game. Which is why I just wanted the sort of table design that we have. Hey, TJ. And no worries. I don't normally stream on Tuesday. We just finished designing all of the skills. So it's just in a document right now. But I'm pretty happy with it all. Unfortunately, it's not easy to communicate what the sort of problems are with the current skills so that I could kind of cover what the big changes are. So we just have new skills. Probably gonna need to ask for this stuff too. New mage skills. Ice spell and like a rock spike that comes from the ground. Yeah. Did I fill out the journal for yesterday? 10/7. I did. Yes. Okay, well now let's fill it out for today. Did a stream just to design skills for the remaining 3 classes: cleric, paladin, and archer. Yeah. Yeah, I think I think that's going to be it. And I might do some of this stuff off stream. Yeah. But I don't even think I probably will. What did I actually change about the code? I removed something I wanted to change. This is just change wording of mental swiftness. It should be clearer, hopefully. And then what do we do here? We did the % life thing. That's important. This is just remove dead code. And then this cannot be kept. Or, well, I'd have to make more changes if I were to do that. So what is this? Remove unused variable. Wasn't even a variable, it's a constant. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I'm still really happy with how everything is going. I just, it's cool to see. And Dark shared something on Discord that really made me feel like we're doing things correctly here. Where was this? Yeah. Dark shared this. Took me 1 hour to beat the game. And I looked at the screenshot here and I saw, wait, there's the enchanter. And more than that, Dark is actually using all of the enchant crystals. So you can see they all have some color in them, which means that they're on. And then Dark went on to explain, like, I like that the items spawn in the storeroom. It's better to manage the restocking. Feel later on, focus on high income. It's going to be enchant management. Anyway, it just made me feel like, yeah, we're going in the right direction with this. We're doing the right things. I'm taking in feedback. We're processing it. We're coming up with a plan. We're acting on that plan. We're getting more feedback. And I'm hoping that with checkpoint number 4, people are just like, yep, I see it. I see the vision. This all makes sense. And that's what we're counting on. So let's go find somebody to raid. Because like I said, this was there was only a chance that I streamed, and I don't think we're gonna continue anymore. Who to raid? Oh, you know what? I never get to raid Herb because of the stream times. But they've been popping in here and there, so let's go raid them. Thank you all for watching. For anyone who isn't already part of the community, feel free to join on Discord. We now have 2 Discords. One for the Adam Learns branding and one for the Skeleseller branding. I'll be back tomorrow, by the way. That's why I didn't really care too much if I did a long stream today. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.